Hello everybody, welcome back to Subnautica. Today, I'm going to be building a base. Ever since my save file reset, I've been living in a kind of temporary base. Don't get me wrong, it's been a great base for what it was, but I definitely want something new. Everyone knows that the first step to building a base is finding a good location. So I started by looking at all the different biomes. Obviously, I could rule out the crash zone, the dunes, the mountains, the blood kelp zone, the lost river, and the lava zone because of yeah. I also took off the safe shallows, the kelp forest, and the grassy plateaus from the list, since I've already built in those biomes, even though some of those didn't end up too well. Out of the remaining options, my favorites were the mushroom forest and the bulb zone, since I found this time capsule that built their base there, and I thought about trying to rebuild it. But eventually I chose the mushroom forest since it's pretty central, which makes access to other biomes like resources really easy, and I really like the feel of the biome. So I took my Seamoth over to the eastern mushroom forest, looked around, and found this perfect little clearing to build a base. So I put down a beacon and went off to go gather resources. For resources, I already had a bunch of titanium and lithium stored up, but I was really low on quartz, so the first thing I did was start up the scanner and waited for it to fill up. Once there was enough quartz marked, I went out gathering. Once I got enough quartz, I went over to the kelp forest to collect some stalker teeth to make some enameled glass. After I got enough, I filled up the Cyclops and took my prawn suit over to the dunes for some extra titanium. That's a rip. On the way back, I decided to take a few pictures of the Reaper for my Cyclops desk, and, well... There we go. Perfect. Finally, I loaded up the Cyclops and headed to the mushroom forest to start building. I started off the base by building 2 moon pools, then built upwards from there. I built a tower of multi-purpose rooms that would serve as the main area: bedroom, storage, crafting, etc. Off of that, I built 2 rooms, one for growing plants and one for a bioreactor. I added a glass dome to where the bedroom would be and an observatory at the bottom. After that, I added some reinforcements, repaired the hull of the base,
hull integrity restored, draining systems initiated,
and added some power so I could start working on the interior. But before I could, I had to collect some more quartz from the dunes.
Powering down.
pretty good on quartz for now. Actually, depending on how much glass I have. Oh no. Oh, that's not good. After that, I started up the Cyclops and headed back to base to start working on the interior.
Engine powering down.
I started off with placing all the windows. Then, I placed all the main utilities, radio, battery charger, crafter, etc. After that, I finished the bedroom. I also added an aquarium under the main room. Built up the greenhouse. And then added some storage. At this point, the base was close to being complete, but it still needed some... I realized that I never found all the parts for the nuclear reactor, and having one would really help with the base's power. I do not have enough power to power this base. So, I went looking. Ooh, another time capsule. Yes! I eventually found this wreck by the mountains that had a time capsule and all 3 nuclear reactor parts. The reactor fragment. Go. I also found a Cyclops thermal reactor blueprint, as well as a nice double bed for my bedroom. Once I got back to base, I placed the reactor on the bottom floor, giving me a cap of 3,150 total power for my base. Now, all that was left to do was add the small decorations. Posters, benches, tables, etc. And with that, the base was finally done. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I tried out a new editing style for this video, so please leave a comment to let me know how you feel about it and if you prefer this style to my other videos. I'd also like to apologize for the almost year-long delay between the last video and this one. There should be more consistent uploads this year. I'm definitely finishing up Subnautica soon, especially with Subnautica 2 on the way, so you can expect some more videos. I also want to give a shout out to this guy for the idea, and if you want to see the full base tour, you can click here or the video at the end screen. With that said, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye!